Good evening, Iowa City. This is your favorite program on TV, Education Exchange from Iowa City, Channel 21, the Education Channel, and Channel 18, Public Access TV. It's a special night, as always, when we have Lemme, principal and Lemme's art guru. Tonight we have Carrie Martinez, the principal of Lemme, Helen Lemme Elementary School, one of the very dear schools in my heart, because it was the first school I worked in as a teacher in Iowa City, and I have the best memories about it. The leopard.
That's right.
Den, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have tonight Mark Jones, the guy who made news with all his wonderful animation work and music. So I will let you first tell me about Lemme in the year 2013.
Well, currently, Hani, we have about 400 students at Lemme, which is always an increase in our population from last year. We've added an ELL program this year too, and are serving about 50 students, which is exciting too, that we are reaching their needs. We are doing some exciting things also with our staff, learning with our professional learning communities, working collaboratively together to meet all students' needs. So that's exciting. We're doing some book studies and works as a staff. And as students, we're doing some fun things as well with our PBIS, with our Prairie, and as well as with our art. So there are some great things happening at Lemme this year.
And because your art program is so prominent and so well known, as a matter of fact, I was talking to Mark before we started, and he gave a lot of credit to his colleagues in the school, all these teachers that were collaborating with him. And definitely, I just have to tell our audience that I became addicted to your programs, to your animation program.
Oh, excellent.
To the fact that it's okay because we repeat our episodes here frequently, maybe more frequently than we should. but I used to hear your beautiful animation, the one that you gave us last year, and then they repeat it again after 5 minutes, so I hear it again. So this can tell you something about how wonderful this art piece was, genuine, and we're so proud of everything you did in this area. So tell us about your story.
Well, I guess I'd always wanted to do animation with students, but very early on as a new teacher, it's such a precise process that I wasn't sure how to do it kind of in a really chaotic environment, or chaotic, in an environment where you have a lot of people running around and making art and being messy, and I wasn't sure how to facilitate that. I knew how I could do it, but that's, who cares about that? I wanted it to be, I wanted the students to feel like they were doing it and they had ownership of it. And so it took a while to kind of get my legs under me on how I could do that. And I'm still learning every year on what could make it better and how to include them more in the entire process and make it as transparent as possible to the students. Yeah.
Give me a little bit of background. I mean, I see you doing a lot of activities with the young people. Music, art, animation, wildlife camps, all that. So tell me about how did you come up to be this leader in many activities?
I don't know if I can speak to being a leader, but certainly my interest, I'd say, I always grew up very into music, and I really liked music. For me, always kind of gave me. I feel has the power to give people a much more emotional response sometimes than art can. Anytime I've felt really taken up in the moment, it's been with music, and which I don't typically get just looking at a painting. And so I really wanted to put those two things together. And with working, Ann Berry, our music teacher, was very helpful in just kind of talking through things with me on how we could do recording with students. And this year, what was really fun is the students wrote their own lyrics to our new movie, and they also performed it. So we were able to,
The students wrote the lyrics?
they wrote the lyrics collaboratively. As a whole school, we wrote the lyrics, which was an interesting process. It was like it was like putting a bunch of Legos together, and they're all, you get one, and then they all build and hold on to each other, and that's kind of how we had to create the lyrics for this. And so some things we'd cut out, some things we'd keep, and then they sang it, and we recorded it and put it into the music, and that was always my ultimate aim with this. And so I think we were all very proud with what we came up with on it. So.
Well, we are going to have 1/3 of this episode tonight devoted to your kids' piece of artwork in this program. But I go back to you, Carrie, and now the story of the leopard now goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you have more diversity this year? Because I think
we do have some, and as I said, couple of things that we're doing with our population. As I shared, we have added our ELL program, which is serving students and really trying to connect with families. One of the goals of our staff as well is really, building that community and that family, kind of just like you said, the leopard, being wearing the leopard and being the leopard, and
I am a bear tonight.
I know,
so
you're not. Where's your leopard?
I'm neat.
I'm waiting for a good present.
I'll remember that. So it's really building that family and that kind of that celebration. We did last year. We did a multicultural festival and brought in various families and speakers, and that was a really neat time for Lemme too, and something that we were proud of. And our team is considering how to continue doing that for this year. So. That's something that we're looking forward to. Another way that we continue to build that family at Lemme is this year through our PBIS team. One of the things we are
What's
working.
PBS?
Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. So we have a team that looks at kind of Lemme and those and. One of the team's goals was really to build that family and that community, and with all students, because within grade levels we see that community. But this year we added a family time. What we're going to do is at least four times a year, is we developed kind of teams, and each teacher, and including specials teachers, general education teachers, paraeducators, anyone in the building had a family, and it was about 10 to 12 students, and ranging from kindergarten to 6th grade. We had our first family time a couple weeks ago, and the feedback from the students, it was really exciting to see them with other grade levels, with other teachers, and we are excited about we have several more, and excited about that because I think that builds that sense of just community for all, and knowing each other and getting along and things. So that's a new piece to this year that we are doing as well.
And you have a very supportive
PTA.
parent, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do, and that's one of their goals as well, is to continue to build that. The leopard and the we've added some different things this year. We went out to Wilson's Apple Orchard as a Lemme, and we're going to do a baseball night and things. So kind of changing some things up and doing some things. But the PTA, is very supportive and good to the Lemme students and staff. So.
That's great to hear. So, Mark, I was in a meeting with some of my old friends, art teachers in the district, and I knew that the last news that you were the coordinator of the art program, which is to our audience, it's like the head of the art department in Iowa City. And you gave this up because you wanted to be very concentrating.
Why did
yeah.
I quit? No,
Lemme.
I really enjoyed my experiences there. It really gave me a great look at all the behind-the-scenes things that have to happen to make the art program work, and it really gave me a great appreciation of what we have in our curriculum in Iowa City for the arts. But yes, I think in the end, like, my head, at least right now, really is in the classroom with the students, and that's really where I want to be. And so it was yeah, that's where my calling is, I guess. And so that's where I really like it. It's been nice because I've been at Lemme now, and this is going to be 7 years, and so having known a lot of these students from kindergarten and first grade, it's just great to see the roots of your curriculum taking root and growing, and it's really great to be able to see that. So. Yes, I really enjoy the classrooms.
Well, we salute you for this, because, I mean, I said this as a sign of devotion. Really,
well, good. I'm glad you see it such.
You see, I'm following. Huh?
Okay. Yeah, good.
I'm a journalist, so that's my job.
Yes. Yeah. But well, speaking of the curriculum, what I really like that we have is. I'm not going to say it's a loose curriculum. We have a very structured art curriculum, but we are able to, as long as we're covering our main areas, principles of design and painting, drawing and sculpture and those things, we're able really to be very creative as teachers and come up with our lessons that excite us, and we bring that excitement then to the lesson, and hopefully that makes the students excited as well. But it's our own lesson where we could be very passionate about it, and I really appreciate that about our curriculum, certainly.
Gary, you definitely feel that you want to shed the light on a very successful program that represents your school in its best, and definitely you have other success stories, many other success stories that you told me about. Earlier, and maybe it will be a chance for you to bring other teachers in the near future to show their work too. I know some of the teachers are shy in front of the camera, and it's a little difficult for them. Not everybody has the ability to be sitting and facing the audience, but thanks to you for doing this for the 2nd year. And I just want to let our audience go walk with me to the process. How do the idea comes, and then, and what it happens, and then our director will give me a hint, and I will stop and will let the work speaks.
Certainly.
On itself.
And also at the end of it, there's like a little how it was made documentary. But
yes.
So this year, Stand Up Tall was our movie, and I kind of had I really wanted the students to write the story. And how do I do that when I have? It was actually between Lemme and also I teach 2 sections of 5th and 6th grade at Mann Elementary. And how do I get that many students to all feel ownership of a story? So we had this movie suggestion box where throughout the year I would put questions on it, and a student could either make a drawing, if that was the case, or in the case of the lyrics for our song, they'd put that in there. And they understood that not every suggestion would get used, but that only suggestions would be taken. So that was our funnel of ideas. So I came up with and I say I came up with the idea. It's as old as stories are, but you're going on a quest. You're conquering these monsters, and how are we going to do that? For one example, I knew that we wanted a hero to conquer a series of monsters. So we voted on what were the scariest monsters that we could think of, and then we tallied those up, and spider was number 1, snakes and dragons and things like that. We would sometimes combine good ideas. Porcupine was a very funny idea that didn't get a lot of votes, so we took that and put it into other monsters, and then that's how we create the idea of the monsters. Then I knew we wanted to conquer these monsters, but I didn't want it to be a violent act. So I didn't know what that was going to be, but so that was a question. And we had several students come up with the idea of tickling. They should tickle the monsters, and that would tame the monsters, and then they would become the friends of our hero, which I was just gold. And it's so wonderful to be a part of that collaboration where I would never have come up with that on my own.
Right.
And when you have all these minds just thinking about it, it's just wonderful. And so that was just one example of where they came up with a collaboration. And for the animation itself was never the only thing we were doing in class. We would at their seats they might be doing painting or clay or whatever was that day, and then we would, if we were ready, we'd call tables up, and they would do the actual animation. And whereas with the robot and butterfly, it was me protecting this camera to make sure no one bumped the camera. This year, we set it up with a laptop and a webcam, and so they were able to do it all their own. And it was tricky at first. We did this all the way down to kindergartners. It was tricky at first, but by the end of the process, you were having kindergartners all the way to sixth graders coaching each other through complex movements and using cardinal directions. You need to move it more north or a couple degrees to the right, and that was how they were mapping out this stop motion. So it was, and I would even be across the room helping kids with a project and just kind of watching the magic happen up there. It was just wonderful. That was really my favorite thing this year, is seeing them
In
making
control.
it. In control. Where it was no longer me having all the control of it. Yeah, exactly.
Task master. You're not
Yeah.
the task master.
Yeah.
You're one of the team.
It really-
One of
that-
the team
yeah.
players.
Which I feel is
Yeah.
really the ultimate aim of a teacher, is to show
Yeah.
them how to do this on their own and how they can.
Facilitator.
Mhm. Yes.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was very heartening to see this year, and we're going forward with that now. So
And
see
so,
what comes
and
next.
then you took the work and you put the music, or what?
yeah,
what-
so they'd come up with we had this year about 5,000. Over 5,000
I'm asking
pictures.
you all these detailed questions because I'm sure there are a lot of new art teachers
Yes.
aspiring to be art teacher in art education. Now they will hear you, they will know, because it looked so difficult when you watch it. And but you make it very.
It took the entire school year this year, so it took a long time. But so we take all those pictures and then play them back to back to back, and that becomes our movie. And then I had music that I had written that we put on top of that, and then I recorded the children singing, and we put that on top of that, and then we have our.
So would you
have our movie.
please introduce to our audience your wonderful masterpiece?
Yeah, so this is Stand Up Tall, our first animated music video coming out of Lemme and also Man Elementary. So yeah.
Well, this was quite an enjoyment. Amazing.
Well, thank you.
Amazing work. So where are we going from here?
Well, so next year we're going to go more abstract, I guess. We're going to not worry so much about a plot, or this year is going to be more about the music and the beat and rhythm. I've kind of told students, like, if they've seen the beginning of Fantasia, where it's more about color, that's where we're going to go more. Instead of trying to have characters or necessarily a story, it'll be more about just color and rhythm. That's going to be where we're going this year.
So it's very good that you train your kids at all the grade levels, because now if they are only sixth graders, they leave and they don't teach the ones that are behind them. So it's good that you start as early as kindergarten. You said
Yes, yep, the whole school.
That's amazing. That's very good.
And it definitely, and I can see, just like the act of animation itself is very repetitious, learning about it's very repetitious too. Just seeing things again and again, it starts to make sense because it's kind of an abstract concept.
There is no doubt in my mind that our audience enjoyed it very much.
Well, thank you.
And this is really a very, very spectacular work. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thanks for
On
letting me share.
behalf of all the parents that are watching now, and all the kids that are proud of what they have achieved, and they can see this program, of course, on Channel 18. We are now Monday during dinner time. Good time to see 7 o'clock. And on Channel 21 all the time. They play it and play it. If you don't have enough,
So if they haven't seen it
Okay.
enough, I am sorry if you've seen this so many times already. But
no, but I tell you, I became addicted to it.
well, good.
And we are on YouTube, as well as Public Access TV, who's offering us all this beautiful facility and all this help. Very nice people here. John Karoff, Michael Peterson, the two big guys of this show, and me. We are grateful to you and to the family of Public Access TV for all the support that we are getting over the years from them. To our audience, thank you very much, and we wish you a very good night. And you saw the monster is only attacked by tickling. So no violence.
Just tickling.
And for this, it's a great idea. Thank you very, very much. And come back again.
We will.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
honey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, John.